So I'm here with Jordan Bastian, Icon Power. When is the right time to turn on solar power on either your build, your custom home, or new project? We are here at my personal house. We've been working with Jordan and Icon Power throughout the duration of this build, and we are finished. We're probably like, I want to say that I'm 4 or 5 months. The reality is I'm probably 6. I need to have a talk with the builder, but long story short, we're a ways out. This is May. It's warming up, and we're going to have solar running to cut down on energy costs as I'm still going through construction all the way to completion. So today we're firing up everything solar-wise on the house. So why don't you walk us through step 1, Jordan, and where we're at?
Yeah, I mean, we got power to the house, panels are installed, past city inspection, so why not turn them on? So this is a Tesla gateway box, and this is where you got a 200 amp breaker in here and the breaker for the batteries, which are back in the house. So this is the brains of the system. This is what through the app, this is where you program when you want your battery to discharge, at what time of day. This is where it tells the battery to either send power to the home or for the solar to send power back to the battery. And then if the grid fails, this is where it tells the system to disconnect from the house or disconnect from the grid so the batteries can still power the home for that 200 amp panel. So everything runs through the gateway box. And every battery system needs at least one gateway box. So we have 2, because we have 2 separate battery systems that will act independent from each other. So if the grid fails, this battery system is backing up one of your 200 amp panels, and then this battery system is backing up the other 200 amp panel.
Now, did you do that planning wise? I know I have 2 meters here because of the size of the home. Did you plan it because we have 2 meters, or is that a totally separate strategy?
Mainly because of the size of the home.
Yeah.
And so you can back up not just one section of the home. Mm-hmm. Some people will concentrate the backup power to only one.
Right.
Right. So we have 6
Maybe
batteries
appliances,
in the garage.
wine cellar, master suite, some of those areas.
So, you have 2 400 amp panels.
Right.
If you had, say, one 600 amp panel, we probably would have done the same thing of back up one 200 amp panel, back up another one, and then the things that aren't critical or essential in the event of an outage, that's not backed up. But the important thing is so there's 2 reasons for the batteries. One, to back up the home if the grid fails. But when SRP is super expensive, for the batteries to power the home if the solar can't produce enough. So that 200 amp that wouldn't be backed up, or you technically have one 200 amp in 1 meter and one 200 amp that's not backed up technically. We still want to monitor the consumption of those panels, because then the battery systems need to know where to send power so you're not buying power when it's super expensive. So here in SRP, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., that's when they're really, really expensive. So we want to program the solar and the batteries to power the home during that window, so you never buy from SRP when they're expensive. At nighttime, SRP becomes super cheap. They have rate plans specifically for solar and battery customers, where at nighttime you can buy it at a discounted rate, but between 2 to 8, you don't want to buy from them. So that's what we program it to do.
So, and I think the benefit right now, I know that we pass on the inspection, so we can fire this up right now, which we're going to do. We're going to get the app running. And even though SRP hasn't come up with their meter, all that changes is what I can sell back to them.
Yep.
But that'll be coming next week.
Yep.
Once SRP's out there, I can sell that back. But in the meantime, I can still use solar to start charging batteries and start powering the home.
So first step are these disconnect switches. So power that on.
And then what about this breaker? Do I need to switch it on the battery?
Is that one not on?
That one's off.
Oh, turn that on.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll start that again. So flip this breaker on.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that's it here. And then we can head into the garage and turn on the batteries.
Okay, let's do it. Now we're in the garage right now.
Yep.
Again, just for reference, we did this walnut detail here.
Yep, this does not come with the batteries.
It does not come with the batteries. The full garage, working with garage, will be this, but we did this wall first so that we could get the solar up and running. So walk us through what we have here, now as we're getting ready to fire this whole thing up.
We got the 6 batteries, and then each one's tied to this generation panel, which has a breaker for each set of batteries. Now, with the 6 batteries, they technically have 2 different names. So there's a Powerwall 3, and this is what's called an expansion pack.
Okay.
So the solar creates direct current, but our homes run off of alternating current. And what's really cool about the battery system that Tesla created is the solar comes direct current straight to the battery.
Okay.
And then the inverters, so you have 6 batteries, but 4 inverters. So there's an inverter in each one of the Powerwall 3s. So the direct current comes straight to the battery, and then it only gets converted to alternating current when you need to use it.
So it's stored as DC, but as you use it, is leaving in AC.
Exactly. Now, DC power does not travel far.
Yeah.
That's why solar is great, because it just goes from the roof to here.
Okay.
a lot of other battery systems or even Tesla's older system what would happen is it'd go from direct current to the inverter and convert it to alternating current. But you can't store AC power. You can only store DC power.
Okay.
So it gets converted to AC, but then when it goes to the battery, it had to get converted back to DC again, so you can store it.
So you're losing.
So you lose a slight loss of power every time you convert it, and then when you need to use it in the home, it gets converted back to AC again. So on other battery systems, or even Tesla's older version, Powerwall 2, there was 3 conversions, from DC to AC, back to DC again, and then back to AC so we can use it. So this is a much more efficient system because it goes DC from the solar straight to the batteries, and if you don't use it, it stores it DC.
Okay.
And then when you do need to use it, the inverter's in the battery, it converts it back to AC.
And you mentioned that these will light up, right, if they have inverters and if not.
The main Powerwall 3s, there's a T on each battery, those will light up. The expansion pack has no inverter inside it, so it doesn't increase your output of power. Like the inverters can output 11.5 kilowatts of power. This just increases your storage capacity of kilowatt hours. And so because of the amount of like air conditioners you have, at a minimum, we wanted 4 Powerwall 3s so that you still have enough power to run AC units in the rest of the home and stuff like that. This just increases the longevity of how long the batteries can last. And so each battery system has a breaker. So this says battery 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So there's 6 batteries, but there's 4 Powerwall 3s, and so that's why there's only 4 breakers. And so to turn them on, you just flip on the breakers for each one. So you can turn on 3 and 4 back there. And then if you want to take a look at here, so behind this little gate, you can see the off button on the battery, which this is currently off. The on button is right behind this little gate here. So sometimes you have to get it like a flathead screwdriver and get it to open it up. So you hit the on button on that, that'll start flashing soon. And you hit the on button on this one. So this battery system, these 3 are tied to one set of the house, and then these 3 are completely separate, independent systems. So these will start blinking once we get it. And then what we want to see after they start blinking is a solid white light. That means we're good to go.
Yeah, and I know in our second video we're going to talk about the app and how I'm controlling this from the app, just from from the smartness of the home that you've designed, Jordan. Now, what's interesting, just from a construction aspect, as you know, when we're going through the calcs, what I really appreciate about Icon Power, in working with you at Precon, is this house is ICF, so we've insulated the floor, the walls, and so we went through the energy rating and calcs of the house, and the way this was designed with Icon Power and Jordan is that I should be pretty close to hitting net zero at the end of the year, which means I'm producing as much energy as I consume. And so having the 6 batteries is going to store a tremendous amount of energy. And as you're selling that back to the grid, there's going to be times this season where I'm consuming a little bit more when it's hot, but at the same time, the way the house is designed, I'm going to retain that energy for a very long time because of the R values that I'm getting on exterior walls and the ceiling. So.
And what's cool about the Tesla app, we'll show in a bit. So SRP, this utility, in the winter from November to April, there's different hours that are considered peak hours compared to the summer. So in the winter months, it's 5 to 9 in the morning and 5 to 9 at night. From November to February, the solar is not producing very much at 5 a.m. Really zero, right?
Yeah.
The sun hasn't come up yet. So as soon as 5 a.m. hits, and obviously there's no solar power being created, the batteries will kick on so that now you're not buying during that peak hour up until 9 a.m. And then roughly around 9 a.m. in the winter is about when the solar will start producing, and then we'll start powering the home and recharging the battery at the same time.
It's amazing. And the summer's a little bit different when it's so hot.
Summer, it starts at 2 and it goes to 8. So people with electric cars, in the winter months, just make sure that stops charging by 5 a.m.
Yeah, and in the summer, make sure it doesn't start till 9 p.m. probably.
So I program mine just 9 p.m. all year long. Yeah. So in the summer, peak hours end at 8, but I don't want to have to worry about that.
So you just do
I just do it at 9 p.m. because in the winter, 9 p.m. So you can plug your car in at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, but you don't want it to start charging until 9 a.m. and you just program that either in the app or in the car itself.
But see, that's an important part, right? Is that you can program it that you can come home, so you don't forget. You're plugging in your Tesla vehicle, but it's not running, and then automatically it kicks on at 9 p.m.
Yeah, because you don't want to charge it when because if you plug in the battery and start charging a car, that's going to soak up the energy in these batteries
that you may want to use
right?
for the house. Yeah.
So like all 6 of these batteries still don't equate to what the battery size is in a car.
Yeah.
So the car batteries are much bigger. But at the same time, you don't want to be like, okay, I'm not going to plug it in yet. I'll come plug it in later, which people always forget to do that. And then the next morning you're like, freak, I didn't charge my car.
Yeah.
So just plug it in. It'll start charging at 9 o'clock or whenever you decide to program it.
Well, thank you. So now we're up and running. These panels will be up and running here shortly, and everything's engaged. We got solar cranking on this house. Now watch phase 2 as we get the second video to make sure we can operate from, remote distances, or if I'm not at the house, and, really control the whole design of the home.